Is it a custom program, meaning I sat down with a blank white sheet of paper? No. But do you need to? No. All right, I'm sure we've all been to Chipotle, right? And when you go into Chipotle, you go in and you order your custom bowl or burrito or salad. And the person in front of you, they're getting a custom one too. And the person behind them is getting a custom one too. Now, does that mean we have a kitchen that has all, is a scratch kitchen where everybody's going to make everything to order? No. They have basically 20 bins of things that they pull from. And you're going to choose the black beans where I may choose the pinto beans. And they're going to choose rice where I may choose the burrito. At the end of it, we're still getting what we need, but we're pulling from those same bins. And so they can put a ton of people through that line in a pretty short order, all giving them individualized custom meals. And we can almost look at it the same way. So if you think of those 10 or 20 bins, well, that's basically the movement patterns that we have. Everything we do is based on these 9 patterns in the gym. We're squatting, we're hinging, we're lunging. We're pushing either up and down or front to back. We're pulling up and down or front to back. We're rotating or we're carrying. And everything is some derivation or something that is coming from these original 9 patterns. So it's almost like the analogy of think about a calculator. Calculator has only 10 digits, yet those 10 numbers make every number in the world. And so as long as you have those 10 digits, it's just a matter of up to your math skill of how much you can get out of that. Well, now it's just down to your coaching and training skill, how much you can get out of these 9 patterns. But it's like those bins at Chipotle. We're all pulling from the same thing. Now it's a question of, well, which squat do we do with you? Or maybe we don't even squat with you at all because there's some sort of limitation that maybe that's not the best choice for right now, and we have to do some sort of alternative for the time being. But either way, this is going to be my checklist in terms of programming to saying in your program somewhere, I'd like to have all these represented. Are they all represented in every single workout? Not necessarily, but across the base of your program, they should at least be seen or represented somewhere. So now, this is the discussion that I had with my partner, Mike Perry. Now, Mike Perry and I have something called Principles of Program Design. We'll tell you a little bit about later. And him and I sit down and talk about programming a lot. And one of the things I theorized in one of our hypothetical conversations was, if 2 people walked into your door today, and let's say we have, and the demographic that I work with on my personal coaching side is I focus on men over 40, but specifically active and competitive men. I deal with the guys who are still involved in sports and still training hard. And so I said, but if 2 of those guys walked into me and they had similar medical history, injury history, training history, and so forth, they were at similar levels of fitness. But one said to me their primary goal was to get in good shape aesthetically because the summer's coming up and they want to look good for their beach vacation. And the other one said, well, I'm looking forward to the summer because I want to be golfing a lot and I want to improve my golf game. If you have those 2 cases that came in, how different are their programs going to look? And after a lot of back and forth, Mike came up with this great line. He said, it's basically going to be the same meat, just different bread. And I loved it. And so we made this graphic to say, you're going to warm them both up. The warm-up may be a little different, but they both need a warm-up. The person who's just training for body composition, they don't need to really focus on their speed or power. They don't care about that. So we're not going to put much, if any, of that in there, but I do need that for the person who want to improve their golf game. They both need to strength train, and they both need to use all those patterns that we just talked about. Then in terms of aerobic fitness, as long as I check the boxes of across the spectrum of what they need for aerobic fitness with the general population and the body composition client, they'll get to their goals. But you might need a little bit more specific energy system development for the athlete. And then at the end, they both are going to cool down, then they look a little different, but it's the same elements. So that's why I kind of love this idea of same meat, different brand. It's not vastly different. Unfortunately, what we see with a lot of the coaches that we work with and that comes to our workshops is that if those 2 people came in, what happens is the fat loss person, well, what do? They get a bunch of HIIT workouts and burpees and bicep curls. And then the person who comes in for performance for golf, well, they get everything that tries to look like golf. Everything's rotational. Everything tries to mimic golf. And the reality is golfers need to squat. They need to lunge. They need to bend. And then the reality is that that the other person needs a more full-scale development so we don't have any holes in their program as well. So they're going to look a lot more the same than they are different.